Greetings Internet, Didier here, and welcome to another SWU at home video that is not sponsored by Brian Keebler's ridiculous deadlifts that he does on his TikTok, unfortunately. So this time we have bringing you Cynthia's classic Cassian ECL that she has pretty much 100% spent all her time playing. And on my side, I am bringing my Padme red deck, new and updated with a recently released deck profile video. I've played the double green version of Padme a lot with the Droid Manufactory giving you the ability to activate Coordinate very easily. But I was overall unimpressed with the top-end green Republic units because Padme forces you to play Republic units. So it looks like Cynthia is starting with initiative, dropping down the Sabine Wren classic opening for the red hero deck with a 2-cost Sabine Wren opener. Likewise, I'm going to respond with an open that I am growing more and more accustomed to with these Republic Coordinate decks, which is the Republic Tactical Officer. The 1/4 turn 1. It seems like it's a bad/slow play because you're not getting the +2 damage attack on the Republic Tactical Officer. But with the Coordinate decks, being able to just kind of stand up to the early game units and not be easily defeated by the opponent, that 1/4 stat line is pretty valuable. So it looks like Cynthia didn't resource. Yes, I was waiting. I was going to say. Yep, so we'll have to see. So to be quite honest, Cynthia is kind of like a sanity check, a meta check for my decks. The Cassian ECL list that she has here is similar to a Sabine ECL shell. So I always throw up my kind of off meta builds into her Cassian deck to try to see how it would stand up against a well-tuned deck. So firing in the 3 damage of Sabine, me responding with my 1 damage with the Republic Tactical Officer. Cynthia laying down a Fighters for Freedom surely will be able to see some value and pings, and then me using the Soldier of the 501st. Looks like Cynthia is going to claim I'm going to drop down another Soldier of the 501st and then actually activate Padme ability. Crazy development there. Getting down 3 units turn 2 and activating Padme ability. This is not typical for the Padme deck, but certainly always play the cards that you are drawn, and then me drawing the double 501st there allowed me to draw that Batch Brothers into my hand with Padme ability. Going into the next round here. Now, of course, Padme ability, Padme kind of gets some flack for being a not a very strong leader. I disagree. I think her card draw is very strong. Even if you're not using the units that you're drawing, I think Padme draw gives you 2 kind of advantages. It allows you to hit resource drops earlier while using a go wide strategy. Go wide burns cards from your hand. So it could be hard for you to hit your resource drops if you're playing 2 or 3 cards in a round. And then additionally allows you to dig for your late game. And that's one of the reasons why I like the Republic version of the red Republic version of this deck, the Padme, because you get crazy endgame bombs that is Mace Windu and Resolute in both the ground and space arena. So you're getting the additional resource drops with the card draw, and then likewise you're getting the digging to go into your late game units. So it gives you advantages at both stages, both major stages of the game, both early game and then late game. So, a card like Cassian, they're always limited by, she has to do the 3 damage. So it looks like she's going to take out one of the Soldiers of the 501st with the Fighters for Freedom here. We played this matchup several times, and she knows that she needs to play a grindy game against me, because if she just lets me activate Coordinate and just run the field, I am going to do lots of damage. So she's going to take the value trades when she can and take out that soldier of the 501st. Me firing in 2 damage into the base with my soldier. So early stages of the game, of course, the 4 resource turn is a pretty important turn for development. Again, just Cynthia just going in and doing the value trades that she wants to do. Again, I like the testing that she allows me to try out with my decks. Like, most people are going to clear out Padme's units, right? So I really appreciate how Cynthia here plays this grindy game against me. And with the card draw she gets from Cassian, she knows that she could definitely play a grindy game. So we're going to see the ECL here. Is it going to be, yeah, ECL K2 has to be, right? Of course, classic ECL K2 into the tactical officer. Just completely clear my board this turn. Take out all 3 units. Very, very strong there. I have no idea. I'm just sitting on those 4 resources and just taking it like a champ. Like all these unit plays taken like a champ. I'm thinking about dropping down the Batch Brothers, I think, which is an off-curve play, unfortunate for me. Yes, taking the 1 ping from the Fighters for Freedom. Almost forgot that there. So unfortunate if I do drop down the Batch Brothers here, because K2 does 3 damage. Yeah, so it looks like I actually decide against the Batch Brothers, and I'm just going to hard play heavy to an open board. Thinking about the K2 attack mostly, I think. Because if I would drop down the Batch Brothers, it would be a really bad position for me with that K2 attack. I would take 3 damage on my base. K2 would still survive and be able to swing again next turn. So deciding against the Batch Brothers there, definitely a good choice on my end. So I'm not sure if Cynthia should have blown her ECL this early for the K2. Like, taking out the tactical officer, definitely good to limit my coordinate, but at the same time, using the ECL, probably she didn't have like a Poe or a Wrecker, I'm assuming, which is why she decided on using the ECL at that time. So we do have heavy without coordinate. However, this is the flip turn, so we'll have to see if I can get my coordinate online. We do have a Batch Brothers that I can drop down just to activate coordinate instantly. So we're going to see the 5 resource spent here for the Adolphi A-Wing. Okay, the Adolphi Patrol Wing. One of Cynthia's favorite cards. I actually just added in a 2 hyperfoils. So we're actually going to send the K2 into the heavy there for extra damage with Overwhelm, taking the 3 damage on the base, and then taking the extra 2 damage on her other units, Sabine and Fighters for Freedom. Gonna see the Spark of Hope here, just developing my late game. I'm assuming that I have a U-Wing in hand if I did that. Looks like I don't. But just trying to kind of, I guess, push into the late game. Not getting an extra deploy or anything out there. But just figured if she's gonna play the grindy game against me, I will take advantage of that by ramping. So we'll see the Padme flip here. We do have 3 resources for that Batch Brothers, so I could potentially get coordinate off this turn, which would be really great. So getting coordinate off against competent players is very difficult. The Republic units aren't the strongest stat-wise, which is a really big limiter on the Padme Republic decks. So it looks like she's actually going to send her Fighters for Freedom into Padme to deal 3 damage to Padme, dropping down my Batch Brothers. She doesn't want that Padme to be around at all. That's a little bit further than I would go for value trades, I would say. I wouldn't even call that a value trade. It's really overextending Cynthia there. I'm thinking that the reason she decided to do that was because she had the space locked down. But we're going to see Padme into Sabine here for the complete clear on the ground, and then get that tutor. Wonder what we're going to see. I could take a space unit. Yep, we're going to see the Anakin's Interceptor. Probably not looking to play that. Probably just going to resource it. Like I said, the Padme power is always good to give you additional resources. I do have that Bright Hope in my hand to lock down the Space Arena. So it looks like we have a Yularen and a 501st. So we're going to have a pretty big turnover here. We have 7 resources. This is the Cassian flip turn. As long as we don't see a timely intervention, we will be able to attack with Padme again. So that'll be great. But we are about to see things kind of lift off pretty quickly here on this Cassian flip coming up, and then me stacked with 7 resources on my side. So, of course, Batch Brothers showing the power of the red coordinate deck. Batch Brothers enabling me to activate coordinate with 3 resource and only a single card from my hand. Great there. Adolphi, Patrol Wing, threatening 4 damage in space. One of the things that Cynthia does like to do is just kind of have this space damage that's just incrementally punching me. A lot of games that I lose against Cynthia, I lose because of that Adolphi Patrol Wing in space, to be honest with you. So we're going to see the Wrecker here actually delaying the Cassian deploy in order to take out the Padme there. Crazy, crazy risky play. Yeah, just throwing a lot of resources at limiting my board here. Just trying to keep that Wrecker on the board, and then seeing if she can just limit my ability to draw, limit my ability to resource, and limit my ability to do damage. Now, of course, since she destroyed that resource, she won't be able to deploy Cassian this turn. So, likely this was her only play. I'm assuming the Wrecker was her best play, and seeing that the best unit for her to kill was Padme, she wanted to open with it, although losing the 4 damage and the card draw this turn from Cassian isn't the best. So we're going to see the Yularen here to heal, and then Adolphi's going to come in for the 4 damage. Now, likely, I was probably considering the Bright Hope, but I wanted to play more of a curve-out play with the Liberator. Liberator giving me 4 heal here. Huge healing coming in from Yularen and the 501st Liberator. And then, yes, and then we have that. Oh, actually, we have... I'm going to send all 3 units to take out Wrecker. How crazy is that? So, and I guess this is kind of the advantage of what Cynthia did right here. Because, yes, she didn't deploy Cassian that turn, but she forced me to trade 3 units to kill that Wrecker in order for me to save damage. Because I knew that she was just going to run my board with Wrecker. Yep, just talking about the ambush that I got from the Coruscant Guard there. It's unfortunate that I had an off amount of damage. I only needed 3 more damage after the Coruscant Guard, but I needed to trade both Batch Brothers in. So just thinking, okay, if we're going to grind this game out, I can grind it out better because I have healing. I know she doesn't have healing. She has card draw. We both have card draw. So this is a pretty interesting match. We both have card draw to kind of match each other in the grind game. But the advantage that I have is I have healing, and the advantages that Cynthia has is she has a lot of Saboteur to get around my Sentinels. So we do still have that Bright Hope in hand. We also have a Mace Windu, which we'll have to see if I can line up that Mace Windu with damage. Cynthia's going to go back up to 6 resources to potentially deploy Cassian this turn. I'm going to go up to 8, I think. Yes. So I do remember that I did resource a Timely Intervention. We do have that Timely Intervention. Not that we have a good target for Timely Intervention in my hand, but Cynthia is going to open up with the 4 damage, get that 4 damage in for the Adolphi there. I'm thinking this turn I'm going to see the Bright Hope for card draw because I only have 3 cards in hand. That Liberator is looking great to send back into my hand. Going to start out with the Yularen damage, because surely if she defeats one of my units, it's going to be Yularen. Playing down the Battlefield Marine, looks like Cynthia is not drawing the best hand I've seen her draw with this deck, of course. She could have timely po'd this turn if it lined up for her. Looks like she didn't draw the best in this game, but hey, you can't draw timely poe every game. So yep, going to go in here with Mace Windu. Seeing Cynthia drop the Battlefield Marine, I know that she's kind of playing on the back burner a little bit. Like her hand is not the greatest, so I'm going to try to take advantage of that by playing a little bit of a risky play here with the Mace Windu. It's not risky, but it is committing a lot to this one singular play. It's committing all my resources to it. And it's not like it's winning me the game, right? She only has 6 damage on her base. So interesting here. I am actually going to Padme power before swinging with Mace Windu, giving her the option to potentially trade into Mace Windu and take him out. So that is a potential for her, but I think I was fine with that because I am at 14 and I don't want to take any more damage. So kind of trying to bait her in, but she's not going to take the bait. No, she's going to take the damage and the card draw and not be baited by me. But we are going to get that Resolute in hand with Padme power. Sending in the 5 damage there. And then what are we going to see? We're going to see another K2SO. Hey, if you're not playing Poe, it's good to play K2. So we do still have that Bright Hope in hand. We now have a Resolute in hand. We also have that Timely, and the Resolute only costs 7 right now. So we are at, next turn, we could actually go up to 9 and potentially Timely that Resolute into play. But we are going to see the 3 damage from the Liberator. Cynthia is going to have initiative going into the next round. We have the Gamorrean Guard not really helping out too much, considering Cynthia's board. With the Saboteur and the K2, the Gamorrean Guard is not great in this position. But we do have that Resolute in hand, so we can potentially severely reduce the damage that we have coming in this round. We also have, 10 damage? We have 10 damage pushing in from the ground arena, so we are actually 1 damage off from taking out Cynthia this turn. It's always good to count the damage that you can push into the base, because I've seen too many players try to play the unit trade game a little bit too hard. When they have lethal, actually, I've seen people miss lethal. Always count your lethal. Count your damage. See how much damage you could push out, and always consider the next turn too. The first action. So we're gonna see Poe. I think she is timelying Poe. It's hard to see at the top of the camera there, but I think she did do a timely intervention on Poe. Yep, there it is. The timely intervention on Poe, doing the attack onto Mace Windu. And then I didn't see a card discard. Looks like we're not seeing the card discard there. Probably just running out of cards on Cynthia's end. But yep, we are likewise going to see the timely on my side of things for 9 total cost. Firing in the Resolute, the powerhouse of Red Republic, coming in here like a force. Ambushing into the Adolphi for 8 damage. Now, this is actually a misplay because I just added Resolute into my deck. It's more of a mistrigger than a misplay, but I should have double triggered the Resolute. And I think I single triggered it to defeat Poe. I should have double triggered it, so I should have been able to deal another 2 damage, probably to the K2, I assume. Or actually, maybe not. Maybe I would have did the Cassian. But yeah, this is going to be a super tight race here. Yep, Cynthia pushing in a lot of damage now, getting me up to 22. Yeah, so Cynthia actually did... Yeah, Cynthia had lethal this turn if I did not do that Resolute play, which is crazy. Yeah, firing in the 3 damage from the Liberator here, getting her up to, I think, within lethal of the Resolute. Yeah, she's going to go to 17, and that's exact lethal with the Resolute. We do still have a Liberator in hand for burst healing, for 4 burst healing there. Not that it's going to matter too much, because she does double tap me with 4s there. I'm at 22, so if she hits me with K2, I'm 1 heroic sacrifice K2 away from death right now. Yeah, but I think we're discussing here how Cynthia kind of needs to claim with the 4 damage up. Yeah, we were discussing that because I would let her know that, you know, I had lethal with the Resolute, so if she would have attacked me with K2 there, I just claim and take her out with Resolute as first action. So I kind of let her know she needed to claim, she needed to fish for that heroic sacrifice K2 play. But she didn't get it, so unfortunate there. But really close game. Good game 1. Goes to Padme. SWU at home. Cynthia playing a very control-y game, kind of delaying the Cassian there. So that 4 damage, would that have mattered? It would have gotten me another Padme trigger, another Padme heal, and another 2 damage on her base. So not sure if that the Wrecker delaying the Cassian flip was the correct play there. I know that Cynthia does do that play sometimes. She doesn't like doing it, but she does do it when she feels it is necessary, delaying the Cassian deploy. I think in an alternate universe where where Wrecker survives there, and I don't have the Coruscant Guard 3 damage ambush to take out Wrecker, she does win that game. That is the correct play then, because getting that 7 damage, like clearing Padme, getting that 7 damage into base, definitely would have won Cynthia the game for sure. And I think that was the goal, kind of like taking out my board, clearing out my board, and then just kind of sticking a Poe or a Wrecker to close out the game. So close game, but showing the power of Resolute. So it's actually this game, and then I played some additional games against one of my friends, Bill, with his kind of, he loves playing blue kind of control-y slower decks, like Blue Hero, Yoda, and seeing the grind go on and how good Resolute is in those grindy matchups has completely sold me on the card. So we're going to see a pretty standard opening here from both players. Cynthia going to start out with initiative. Cynthia starting with the Sabine Wren again. And then myself throwing down the Coruscant Guard. Coruscant Guard, a great card to open against the red aggro decks because, of course, that 3 power stands up to the red units, all of the red units that they have. So just great there to have that 3 power on the board to answer all of the red plays. So it looks like I do have Timely Heavy in my hand as well. I do have a Liberator. So if Cynthia goes in here for 3 damage, yep, she's going to go in for the 3 damage. So potentially I could just throw down the Liberator there. Just trading 3 damage across the board. We do also have a Batch Brothers too. So I may actually drop down the Batch Brothers. It really depends on what she plays here. If she plays, I'm not really sure, but she's actually going to play the Sundari Peacekeeper. Sundari Peacekeeper. So does that change things for me? I may actually end up dropping down the Liberator then instead of the Batch Brothers. No, we are going to see the Batch Brothers, actually. Surprising here, considering that the one Batch Brother only has 1 HP. Easily answered by both Sabine Ping and the Sundari Peacekeeper on attack. So surprising there, I didn't drop down the Liberator. But we'll have to see how that changes things. Potentially, I just wanted to get... potentially, I do have that Timely Heavy in my hand. So potentially, I'm just trying to get the Batch Brothers down to start getting my coordinate online. So, yep, of course, Sundari Peacekeeper, very, very strong in any sort of mid-range or aggro matchup. Any sort of match where it's going to be a close base damage race, Sundari Peacekeeper, very, very strong unit. Are we going to see a timely intervention? Do I see a played timely intervention from hand for 1? Yes, we are going to see timely Oh, okay. I remember this. So she actually, I think, Cynthia thought Batch Brother was a 1-1. So she actually went to timely the Gamorrean, because it would have gotten her Sentinel, and then she would have taken out the Batch Brother and survive. But Batch Brother has two power, so we just kind of reverted that back and let her take back the timely there. But yeah, of course, Sundari Peacekeeper. Cynthia plays actually 3 Sundari Peacekeepers in her main deck because Cassian is so good at grinding the match, at just grinding out against the opponent with the card draw. So Sundari Peacekeeper really goes a long way to help in the aggro mirror or against Sabine or any sort of aggro deck. So Cynthia not sure what to do here. She could play the I even let her know that that 1 damage ping she could kill the Batch Brother and take no damage, which is pretty sick. Pretty sick interaction there with Sabine. Alternatively, she could and this is kind of we're talking it out. Hey, SWU at home. We are talking out plays with each other. To kind of just, decide what's optimal. So she had some options there. She wanted to take the base damage, she said. That was the big thing for her. She was like, I want the base damage, so I'm going to hit the clone and then take the 1 damage ping on the base with Sabine. So going to have the Coruscant Guard go into Sundari Peacekeeper here, which is a great play because it means that if Sundari Peacekeeper wants to trade a unit, Sundari Peacekeeper is going to go down, regardless of whether he attacks the Batch Brother or the Coruscant Guard. So great play there, putting pressure on the Sundari Peacekeeper. So both players still have all resources up. We have not seen a single resource spent, but that is going to change as Cynthia drops down. I'm assuming that's the Gamorrean Guard. Yes, the Gamorrean Guard that she had kind of faux time lead before. And we're going to drop my Liberator here to heal 3 and leave up a resource for me to be able to Padme power. Because again, I know if Cynthia wants to take out my ability to coordinate, she can, but she's going to lose the Peacekeeper in the process. She doesn't want to do that, so she's going to take the 3 to the base, take the 2 heal, and let me draw with Padme. So, yep, grabbing another Batch Brother, potentially. Oh, no, not going to grab the Batch Brother. Actually going to grab the Soldier of the 5-0 first. Great card with Bright Hope, the Bright Hope that we have in the hand. Cynthia not having a great hand, going to spend off-curve resources to draw with Cassian. I'm using the other Batch Brother to take out the Gamorrean Guard, but that's okay because we're going into the 5 resource turn, and Cynthia can surely swing the board in her favor from here on after with Pose and Wrecker. She still has ECL up. This is just the beginning of the game. So on my side, we have Spark of Hope, Timely. I have Heavy Timely. I have Batch Brothers. Oh, no, we don't have a Batch Brothers. We have a low altitude gunship, though. So this is the double... Oh, no, this is not the double flip turn. My bad. This is actually the Padme flip turn here. So we have a low altitude. Like I said, we have Timely, Heavy. You can see I'm actually holding the timely in my hand. I have not resourced it, and that is for a good reason, because it, of course, lets me timely heavy a turn earlier than I would normally be able to, so I can timely heavy on the 5 turn instead of the 6 turn. It does burn an extra card from my hand, but depending on the board state, it can be really valuable to do that. So we're going to see 5 resource spent and an ECL. Surely that's going to be Poe. Yep, here comes Poe. Yep, take out the 5/0 first, and then I'm assuming she's going to ping the Coruscant Guard. Yep, exactly that. Take out the 5/0 first and ping the Coruscant Guard. Clear my board. This is always the struggle when you play against the red aggro decks, because just the Poes are just crazy strong. Yep, so we're going to see actually the timely heavy, even though I don't have... Oh, wow, pretty good play here. So timely heavy into Poe to take out Poe, and then the 1 damage ping from heavy to take out Sabine. Pretty good play there. Doesn't develop my board, but takes out 2 of Cynthia's units, and we do have ECL spent, setting ourselves up for another grind fest, another grindy game. Cynthia and myself showing that we can answer each other's board states. So we're going to see, yep, the Padme flip. I'm not going to be able to get the coordinate, but we are going to clear the Sundari Peacekeeper out and stop that healing and go to the next round. So kind of crazy development here. Having that timely heavy in my hand was definitely an advantage for me. Took out 2 units with the timely heavy. Pretty strong there. Definitely worth the timely heavy. I would have loved to get just a little bit more value out of it, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. We have a decent hand. We have a low altitude gunship as well as a Gamorrean retainer and that soldier of the 501st, but we're going to see a timely Poe. Okay. All right. So double back-to-back Poes. That's acceptable. Hey, you know, she didn't ambush Poe. Wait, did she ambush Poe in the first game? I think she actually did ambush Poe in the first game. All right. So we've seen 3 ambush Poes in 2 games. Respectable. The card draw is strong with this one. So thinking about the low altitude gunship, I do have 6 resources. This is a tough call for me. Low altitude gunship, almost the only play that I have. Just because it has 6 power to stand up to like Cassian and things like that. But overall, my hand is not great. And it's unfortunate the Bright Hope is just not adding anything to the deck right now. Yep, so taking that 1 damage ping with the low altitude gunship. Surely we're going to see the Cassian flip here to push in damage, get her card draw. So yep, really grindy game. Both I only have 6 damage on my base. We've seen 2 Poes. Just kind of crazy how we both kind of play a control game against each other. It looks like I do also have a timely in my resource line as well. I'm not sure if that's going to be relevant. I could timely that Gamorrean retainer. Wow, she's actually going to claim and not deploy Cassian. That is wild. Cynthia, always whipping out these crazy plays. I don't even disagree, because it allows her to swing with Poe, because she knows I blew out all my resources. Oh, you know what she's gonna do? I know it. It's gonna be frickin' heavy. No, it's going to be Wrecker to kill the low altitude. Yep, this is devastating. That's such a good play by Cynthia. Such a good play by Cynthia. That trading the leader deploy. And Cynthia is so good at doing it, right? Because we saw it in the last game. Cynthia knows when to trade the leader deploy. Just take out the low altitude gunship for free value. So I'm going to timely the Gamorrean retainer into Poe to take him out. But it almost doesn't matter at this point because I'm just kind of like doing really slow removal here. We have a Wrecker. We have Cassian who's coming out now. And we are staring down the barrel of 2 guns, 1 big boom, and 1 smaller gun, but a gun that draws cards. So, yep, just kind of doing what I can over here, throwing down the soldier of the 501st, taking 4 damage, and not being able to play anything else, claiming initiative. There's nothing really in the deck that I can answer Wrecker with, I don't think, in one action. Open Fire doesn't. I drew Mace Windu, but Mace Windu is not answering Wrecker. So I'm just going to take a monstrous amount of damage this turn. My best play would probably be to take out the Cassian and then ready Mace. But it's just it's too little too late at this point. Her doing that early claim play into the Wrecker, it was just crazy devastating. Just really, really, really just an experienced play there. Not many players would have taken that play, but just Cynthia showing the level of experience that she has with this deck. Pushing in Wrecker damage, getting the Cassian draw. Now, of course, she should have attacked with Cassian there first because I dealt the damage with the 5-0 first, so she should have known that I was going to try to kill Cassian this turn. But I don't think it's going to matter too much. So I save myself the 4 damage. But I can't take out Wrecker. So it's kind of a moot point. She has no damage on her base. I'm at 17. So, yep, just showing the difference. I mean, another timely intervention. Another timely intervention. Using all 3. I'm pretty sure this is the 3rd timely intervention. Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, when you got double timely Poe, Wrecker, all 3 timelies, like, get me out of this game. Get me out. Hit the reset button. Go into game 3. Yep, so I'm going to claim to top and Cynthia, just adding insult to injury, just adding the infiltrator skill to the Wrecker, just a hit for 8 damage. Hey, why not? Why not at this point? Stop Sentinels. I am at, what is that, 20. So she's going to hit me for 8 this turn, put me within 2 from lethal. I'm not really drawing anything. Again, like, the deck doesn't really have anything. Oh, but we do have a U-Wing, so there's a world where this U-Wing answers somehow, some way answers. No, not going to happen, really. I'd need a board. I would need a board state in some way in order for this U-Wing to save me. Because I think, like, yeah, my best play is the triple play with Yularen, with Echo. Yeah, that's my best play for the 3 heal. It's not terrible, but it's just a little bit too late. Just the 8 damage Wrecker is going to come in strong. And she could even kill Yularen here and still do 5 to the base if she wanted. Which I don't think she should do. I think she should just push 8 to the base and not muck around. Yep, and that's exactly what she is doing. Push 8 to the base. Don't worry about it. I'm at 25. I have to claim. Certainly. Yep, and I have, like, a Liberator in my hand for 4 heal. So I could liberate her and survive another Wrecker hit, but she's probably going to end up playing a few units here. Is she going to play another timely? I swear. She's looking at her... Oh, no, it's going to be Cassian. I swear. Yeah, the Cassian, and then... Oh, yeah, absolutely. So the Cassian there, and then the Wrecker... Wrecker does a lot of damage there as well. So that is the end of Game 3. So going in... I'm sorry, the end of Game 2, going into Game 3 now. Hopefully we do not get double timely pod record this game. So, of course, with the coordinate deck specifically, Poe is devastating. The ECL, I do like this matchup because it really challenges the Padme deck. The ECL and the Poes do just such a good job of clearing my board. Such a good job of clearing the board of a coordinate deck. So it really challenges the deck. Going to start out here with Republic Tactical Officer again, going with the same start as we did in Game 1. Cynthia dropping down Sabine Wren. I think all 3 games she started with Sabine Wren. So I said in previous videos, I actually do really like the Republic Tactical Officer opening, especially with these red decks that can easily answer all my units. Going to shoot in the 1 damage there with the Tactical Officer, and Cynthia responding with the 3 damage. Cynthia always tells me that she refuses to play any unit that doesn't do 3 damage. She wants to activate Cassian power and always give herself that option of Cassian. So we're going to fire down the Batch Brothers here, get on coordinate as fast as possible. So we have a strong coordinated board. We do have a U-Wing in my hand. So what are we going to see from the 3? Sundari Peacekeepers. Really good play, standard bread and butter, especially into this board. I don't have a lot of power that I can use to answer the Sundari Peacekeeper very easily, so that is great for Cynthia. Yep, so could do slow plays here. I could open Padme power. I have some options here, but we're going to actually start with the Gamorrean Retainer here. Just thinking to save myself some damage and hopefully get some damage onto that Sundari Peacekeeper to try to take it out. I do still have Padme online, so I can definitely draw with Padme power. So I guess I was also maybe thinking about the K2 ECL. I don't like K2 ECL into Batch Brothers is just kind of devastating, to be honest with you. 3 damage to the base and only 2 to the K2. She's gonna actually fire in the Sabine to take out, trying to save her Sundari Peacekeeper there. Which is not a bad play, because I would need to send all 3 of my units into the Sundari Peacekeeper in order to take the Sundari Peacekeeper out. So good play on there by Cynthia. I think I am... Where am I going with that 2 damage? Going to go for the Peacekeeper. Makes sense here to do that. Because like the 2 healing is kind of hard to get above. Modded Cohort to go into the Batch Brother... Yes, go into the Batch Brother. Modded Cohort, one of the best green cards. Very, very strong green card. Often slept on, but many of the green decks do play it. So going into the Sundari Peacekeeper for another 1 damage with the Tactical Officer, and then me taking the Peacekeeper to the face. No damage on Cynthia's side. Unfortunate, I cannot activate Coordinate. We do have that Soldier of the 501st, giving us the ability to coordinate with Padme. Very good there. Getting that Coordinate off our early game helps a lot. Grabbing that Cody. So we are going to potentially see set up for a Cody play here. We do have a timely in hand. 2 low-altitude gunships. 2 low-altitude thinking about keeping that timely in hand. Yeah, going to keep the timely in hand. I do like that. Oh, no, we are actually going to resource the timely. I do like... Because there's only a small world where I double play the gunship, the low-altitude. But there is a potential to double play it, which is why I probably wanted to keep the 2 in my hand. It's also good in this matchup. Whenever you're dealing with a lot of ambush, the low-altitude gunship becomes better. Lots of ambush means damage on their units, and Cynthia with her Poes and her Wreckers and her ECLs, loves to ambush, so the low-altitude gunship is very strong. Plus, it has 6 power, so it answers both Poe and Wrecker. So that's why I'm trying to keep that in my hand. I do have Cody this turn. I could potentially drop down a Cody play. This is pretty cool. This is an interesting development of the board. The Soldier of the 501st is actually showing a lot of value right now. Can potentially take out the Mahdi Cohort or the Sundari Peacekeeper for 2 damage and survive in both cases. So Soldier of the 501st showing the power that it has. Gonna see the 5 resource play for the Adolphi for the modded cohort into base, I assume, for 6 damage. Strong damage swing there by Cynthia. I'm assuming I'm gonna see the Soldier take out. Yep, the Soldier takes out the Sundari Peacekeeper and kind of frees me up this turn to cleanly play Cody because she has all spent. And I have Cody in my hand. I have 5 resources up. Yeah, here comes the Cody. Cody dropping down like a hammer. We are seeing the Cody value online, and we are seeing the Padme flip, and now we are going to run in for, what is that, 8 damage? Oh no, modded cohort, of course. Definitely want to take out that modded with the Republic Tactical Officer with the extra damage from Cody, taking out the modded cohort. And then doing a clean 6 damage to base, healing 1, and then getting that Padme Tutor. Grabbing the Republic Tactical Officer, a great card there to grab. So, of course, you know, this matchup, heavily, you could see the differences in the games that she Poe ECLs on 5 versus turns that she doesn't, Cynthia. There is a night and day difference, and when it comes to the coordinate decks in specifically with the coordinate decks, the Poe ECL is just utterly devastating because it always kills 2 units on play, so it's just very difficult for you to get a coordinate leg up. But we do have it online. It is fully online now. The Republic Tactical Officer showing the power with Cody, with the coordinate. We are at a full board now. We have that low-altitude gunship, potential for 6 damage ping. I could take out the Adolphi, but nope, we're going to see the ECL come out. Potentially Wrecker. Yep, Wrecker is coming in like a storm. Look at this play. Huge value swing there. Yep, she's not... And Cynthia talks about how she doesn't like doing this play to stop the Cassian deploy, but huge swing there. Unfortunately, though, we do have the low-altitude gunship follow up for 4 damage on the Wrecker, taking out the Wrecker. So she does delay her Cassian deploy, but does take out the Cody. I think that is a good play to slow the Cassian deploy and ensure that the Cody dies. She goes for the Cassian deploy, but then remembers that she has 5 now after that record destruction of the resource. Unfortunate there, but the Cody was definitely going to end the game very quickly. So that Wrecker, in my opinion, the Wrecker was the right call to double take out my units, especially Cody, mostly Cody there you wanted to take out. She needed an ambush there, because if she let Cody up that turn, it was pretty much game over. I was going to be able to push in so much damage that turn. Yep, she gets me up to 16. I have her at 11. She can now flip Cassian, although I do have a Tactical Officer and a Liberator in my hand. I also have the gunship that's up, so I have potentially a one-shot on Cassian. That gunship also survives. Unfortunately, Cassian only having 6 HP is a very big limiter. We do also have that U-Wing in my hand. So we are setting up for a very smooth transition into the late game. Putting Cynthia on the back burner with that Cody was very significant, forcing her to do that Wrecker play. But going to throw in the Adolphi there. I do have that Bright Hope, and that Bright Hope is looking pretty good right about now. We also do have the Liberator to kind of catch up and damage. So if you have the time, if you have, like, for example, I have Ewing in my hand, and I'm on 7. I also have Bright Hope Liberator. So if you have the time and the cards in your hand, and you don't need a Ewing, there's no reason to Ewing, right? Like, what would I be looking for? I guess, like, a Yularen into Liberator. But I think I had resourced one of my Liberators earlier or something like that. So the chances of me finding the third Liberator in the top 10 are pretty low. So always think about that. Like, always think, like, what am I looking for with Ewing compared to what I have in my hand? Because, yeah, we're not going to see the Ewing. We're actually going to see the Liberator play here for the 3 heal, and then likely set myself up for the Bright Hope on the Liberator and giving me additional healing. So I'm just going to leave up that gunship for as long as possible. Do not want to take that extra 4 damage from Cassian. Double 4 cause here, coming in for big damages, big damages here. Yep, all 4 damage. Send that all to the bin, keeping the Adolphi there. Good play on her to do that because she knew she was going to claim, but unfortunate she didn't know that I had the Bright Hope in my hand to answer that space threat. It would have been a great play because she could have claimed for 6 damage with the Adolphi right here and end the game. So it was honestly excellent play there by Cynthia to put that Adolphi on top and the double 4 cause. Because she almost had me for lethal right here with the 6 damage. If I don't have that Bright Hope, I might lose this game. But Bright Hope showing it's one of the best cards. Yep, and then of course definitely sending that Liberator gunship, the low altitude gunship, into the Cassian to take him out. Yep, and then following up with a clean, 3 damage? Yep, 3 damage, getting her up to 16. Myself at 24. So I just need 9 damage. I do have the 9, but we'll have to see if she is able to, like, throw down a crazy Poe play or something. We could see some shenanigans happen still. So surely this is the deciding turn here of what's going to happen in this match. I have a Ewing, I have another Liberator, I have a Gamorrean Retainer, so we are pretty stacked over there with options of what I could do. We also have a Mace Windu. She does have the Poe, so she could potentially do a Poe timely, and looks like she's putting her hand on those resources. May be coming. It may be coming. So yep, here it is, the timely Poe. Oh, that infiltrator skill that she just resourced on top could have actually been very significant. Yeah, that would have been crazy if she drew that, actually. She could have threatened lethal with that. But going to come in with the Poe. And then I assume we're going to see him take out the 501st and then ping the low altitude gunship. I think we're kind of talking through it now. Poe is a pretty difficult card to use because he has so many different modes and so many different targets he can do. But yeah, I'm going to see the 501st death there with a 2 damage ping on the low altitude gunship. Clear my board mostly there, and but just able to take him out. But unfortunate there, I do have the Mace Windu in my hand to answer the Poe and then threaten 5 more damage. So we're likely going to see that right now. Just trying to think if Cynthia can do anything crazy to end this game that I'm not considering. So yep, we're going to see the Mace Windu here. Take out the Poe for the 5 damage, and then threaten lethal. Just threaten lethal on board with that extra 5 damage. So I think that's it. I think that's the end of the game. Yep, and there it is. There is the game 3. So I managed to take the series. Really good games. Shaking the hands. Really good games. SWU at home. Friendly games between husband and wife. And just really great games showing the power of timely intervention over there on Cynthia's side. All the Poes, all the wreckers. lots of delaying of Cassian deploy, but overall, I think the choices that Cynthia made were good, depending on the board state. Maybe in the first game, she kind of overextended herself a little bit, but in the second and third game, for sure, she pushed great plays, and just showing the power of both the Cassian and green ECL shell, and then likewise the new Padme red deck. Check out in the comment section below about the description for the deck descriptions and deck lists that we have for these. And if you like this video, please hit that like button. Please hit subscribe for all the best match videos and gaming guides. And as always, turn your dial to Random Number Gaming.